In the previous video, I shared 10 helpful habits, self-care habits that have changed my life. But usually starting to get into self-care can get very overwhelming because of all the things we see on the internet, like I said in the previous video. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to build a self-care mindset from scratch, no insane trends, and backed by studies. Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel, and let's get right into this video. Mainly on the topic of self-care and stress reduction. According to the study of P.E.M self-care theory widely used in healthcare, the finding talks about how regular self-care practices improve physical and psychological health and help people manage stress more effectively. The impact of this is that people who develop daily self-care routines are more resilient and experience fewer symptoms of burnout. According to the second study and theory from the 2018 article in the BMC Psychiatry, the finding says that self-care strategies like mindfulness and sleep hygiene and physical activity significantly improve mental health and reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. And according to this study, even small and consistent habits made a difference. Another study, the Habit Loop from Charles Duhigg's The Power of Habit, says that habits form when a behavior is triggered by a cue, followed by a reward. The insight is that repeating small self-care actions at the same time or after a trigger is like waking up or finishing work, makes them stick long term. I'll keep the links to these studies in the description below, but these are some of the studies that actually prove that having self-care habits can improve parts of our lives that we never think that it could be improved, because life itself is very bulky with a lot of things, and most of the time practicing things like this helps us to stay more calm and more into ourselves and pay attention to how our bodies are feeling in order to stay sane for a very long time. So now let's get into the video of starting to build a self-care mindset from scratch. First of all, self-care itself, or building a self-care mindset, is centered around your way of thinking, where you prioritize your well-being physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually without guilt. And the first thing, if you'd like to get into taking care of yourself, is self-awareness. Most of the time we don't pay attention to the things that happen around us, happen to us, even through other people, and things that are communicated to us. But this is the first step to finding the things that work for you, your mental health or your physical, emotional health, and all of those good stuff. So practicing self-awareness is the very basic thing, knowing the things that affect you positively, knowing your limits towards certain things, knowing the things that recognizing things that affect you negatively and how you can go about them. What are some of the things that you've done that have helped these negative feelings go away over time, or not probably yet to figure out those things? Being self-aware is the most and very important thing. This is not about being self-conscious about the things you're wearing, about the color of your lip gloss. These are mostly self-awareness from other things that I've gathered are people looking more of their physical appearance. This is about you. This is about your health in different ways, and things that work for you, and things that makes you feel happy, and things that can change your mood. These are the things that we are talking about, because mind you, a lot of things are going to happen to us in this life, and if we don't have ways to take care of ourselves when these things happen, the same way when you're sick, you take your medication, you eat healthy. When you have your period, you know what to do in order to feel better. All these things can be thought of in a way related to self-care. When you're feeling down, what do you do? all these things are very important in order to build a self-care mindset from scratch and in order to help our health in other different ways. This also comes to the fact where you need to listen to your body. If your body is tired, you take a rest. If your body is hungry, you feed it, because sometimes you are most centered on overeating or am I eating too much, or maybe I shouldn't eat this, it's not healthy, or in order to satisfy your cravings, sometimes you're guilty about it. If you're not overly doing these things or overusing certain things, then it's not abuse. If once in a while you feel like having something that you crave, you can have them. If it's good for your health as well, you can have them. So you need to know yourself better in order to start this whole self-care journey. And the very next step is to focus on the Big P.E.M. What I call the Big P.E.M, P-E-M, is your physical, emotional, and mental health. Now we are done with knowing the basic of being self-aware, and then the next thing is to now focus on the core things: your physical health, your emotional health, and your mental health. Now, what are the things to do in order to improve your physical health, or self-care habits that can be incorporated to improving your physical health? Drinking lots of water, like I said in the previous video, and how it helped me. You can watch that video if you haven't yet. And you need to move your body and also to exercise your body, right? Because if you're not exercising, it's like a door with hinges not moving. You need to move in order to stay over time healthy physically. And then if you look at your emotional side, journaling, you can start practicing journaling. I started journaling not too long ago. Journaling can be very hard to do when you're most overthinking, or you're an overthinker and a perfectionist like me, and you don't want to write something small in your journal. But sometimes pouring out even the smallest thing is very important for your emotional health. So for me, some practices that can kickstart your emotional self-care habit journey is journaling, and then also practicing gratitude, like I said in the other video, can also be very helpful. So in your journal, you can start with practicing gratitude for the day, and then you let out whatever you need to let out. I know there's so many journals around, right? There's so many different kinds of journals. There's a self-growth journal. I recently saw a self-growth journal by Tam Carr, and there is the self-discovery journal by me. You can also find the 5-minute gratitude journal that is just solely about gratitude. But you can have just a simple note like this where you can just write down anything that you want to. I basically have my journal in a certain way where I used to not like to journal because it's very too intense for me. I hate writing down my things because I feel like, what if somebody finds out? What if somebody reads it? But scratch that. There's nothing wrong about writing down your feelings and certain things that are for you. So for me, in my own personal journal, I constantly practice, and I found out that writing down the things or journaling in this way has been very helpful for me. So this is like my reflective journal, and first of all, I write how I'm feeling in that particular day physically, and then I talk about how I'm feeling emotionally, and then I have this session where I choose specifically the emotions I am feeling, and then I talk about briefly why I'm feeling that emotion at that particular time. This looks a lot, but it doesn't have to be. Consistency over perfection is something that I'm also trying to practice. So even if it's something small, how are you feeling physically? I feel strong. You move on to the next one. How are you feeling emotionally? I feel a little bit of anxiety towards today because I had this to do, that. And then you choose your specific emotions. Maybe you have multiple emotions, then you choose them and then you move on. That is just how journaling is supposed to be. Even in the simplest, smallest way, if that helps you to feel better, that is what you go with. And also centering on the emotional part. If you need therapy, you need to get therapy. This is the part where I wish I could say sponsored by BetterHelp. I've had my eyes on BetterHelp for a very long time because I think that therapy is not supposed to be a shame. Because if you need help, and the help that you cannot get from any other person, and you need a professional's help, you should get it. Why can you go to a medical doctor if you have physical health issues or health issues that needs to be attended to, and you cannot go to an emotional health doctor or a therapist for that? Why is that such a bad thing? So if you need help in any way emotionally, you should get it. There's no shame in that. It could be regarding your relationship, regarding your family, or eating habits, anything at all. There's a therapist for anybody these days, and even though they can be expensive, you need to work towards that. And so you can check out, just search. There are so many outlets right now. Even though I mentioned BetterHelp, there's so many outlets. So please do your research and seek emotional help if you need that. If you cannot afford that, let's stick to journaling because we are starting from scratch, okay? And now to the M, mental health, digital detox. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I might do a video about that later, but I have a love-hate situation with social media where whenever something bothers my mental health, when I'm scrolling, I just delete the whole app. And sometimes people be like, why are you so weird? I am not weird. I know myself. I am very sensitive to certain things. So in that case, I do constant digital detox. Sometimes I can stay on an app for a very long time, and then it doesn't help with the things that I'm seeing. I go off. When I'm ready, I come back. Because why are apps there? You can always download them, right? But I have personally taken some apps out of my life forever, and I don't think I really want to be in those spaces again for personal reasons. This is me being self-aware and knowing the things that I want. And also, I choose the people I follow. I know people are so afraid to unfollow people because what if they unfollow me? But are you on social media to get people to follow you for nothing? If somebody follows you, it's because probably they admire you or they're getting something positive from you. And if somebody unfollows you because they're not getting that, is that such a problem? No. And if you do the same, it's not such a problem. So unfollow people who do not help with your mental health. Maybe things are moving so good for them with such speed. You might not even know, maybe it's just fake life, but it's affecting you so badly because of the state and the circumstance you're in right now. It's not a problem. Just unfollow them. Clean your FYP. It is your phone, your social media. Nobody can ask you anything, and doesn't mean you have any issue with anybody at all. Protect your mental health and then go ahead. And also, educating yourself is very important. If you know things, mental health topic has been shoved away for a very long time because people think when you mention mental health, it means psychiatry. No. It means you getting to know what affects you mentally and how to deal with them. We're human beings. All these parts of our lives are very important. So educate yourself about mental health, or if not that at all, sometimes how to get your mind off negative things is to get involved in something else. Take a course. You can use platforms like Skillshare, Udemy, or Coursera. Learn something new. Learn a language. There's Duolingo. There's Rosetta Stone. There's so many platforms that you can get into. If you don't know, you can even learn from YouTube. Search how to do whatever you want to learn, how to even cook, learn a new recipe. All these things keeps our mind occupied and shows the negative thoughts away most of the time. And that is another way to protect your mental health. And the next thing is, for consistency over perfection, small milestones are important. About the journaling, so I stopped journaling because I look at my previous journals and I wrote a lot, and whenever I think of pouring out, even though I'm feeling something, I'm like, what am I going to write? But even if it's just one sentence, put it out in your journal and leave it to sit there. It's something that has gone out of you. It's like just taking one thing out of a negative situation and you feel 1% less, 1% better. That is more beneficial than keeping whatever it's in you for that long. So even if it's just stretching for 10 minutes in a day, or just a dance workout, or taking a walk, that is you exercising and moving your body. If it's just taking 10 minutes to watch an informative YouTube video, that is you doing something to help your mental health. If you reducing your screen time, that is you doing something to help your mental health. Unfollow one person today. You see something on your FYP and then it's something that bothers you, just click on interested. Your algorithm is there for you to tailor to your own best self. So you need to make use of these options that have been provided to us by modern technology. And the very next thing is to be mindful of every step. Every morning for me, I write down my to-do list, even if it's something small. I started with writing my to-do list with something even small that I might not forget, but I think I would. So I'll take my stick notes and write down, wake up. I don't write the time because sometimes it can be so mentally draining when you don't wake up at the right time. Wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, drink water, all these things. You're stacking your habits in the morning, and I make sure I have a small morning routine at that point. You writing down that to-do list is you creating like a small morning routine, stacking that habit to be something that helps you in the morning, right? So you when you have that down for your morning, you know, when you wake up, even if you forget, you have it down on your stick notes, or if you have a board like I do, you write it down over there, and you know what you have to do for the morning. And you're done, you wipe it off. If you have something to do for the afternoon, you put it back there. Evening, you do that. Stacking your habits can help you to know how to stay more in check. As you move on, these small tiny habits become your normal daily habits that now you're accustomed or used to. You can try trends, but you shouldn't do it because it's a trend. You should do it because you want to try it, if it works for you or not, because not everything is going to be helpful for you. And the very last thing is to protect your peace. Say no if you have to. Make good use of your time however you want to use it and however it serves you, right? And protect your peace and your energy. If somebody is not giving out the same energy you're giving to them, they're stealing from you. Yeah, and they're draining you without putting back. That means that you are sacrificing your own happiness and self for another person that is clearly undeserving. So protecting your peace is one of the basic self-care things to start right now. There's one thing I will always say, because I have seen it for myself. There's always an alternative for something. Whenever you think there's no way out of something, take some time, even days, even weeks. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be fast. There's always a way out for something. Even if it's just a small loophole you can use to create something better for yourself, that is a way out. This brings me to the end of today's video. I hope this was very basic and concise for you to follow. If this video is something that you like, please like and share to somebody who think might like this, and also subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.